Hi, Deacon Ed McCormick here, and I'm visiting my mom this weekend in Caldwell, New Jersey. And I'm here at my home parish, St. Al's in Caldwell, where I grew up and received all the sacraments. And I want to continue my conversation from last time on the kingdom of God and the election. And I want to start out this discussion by talking about two images Jesus uses in today's gospel. They're kind of strange, and I'll discuss them in a moment. But here's the first image. Jesus is sitting with his disciples on the Mount of Olives, and they're looking over at the city of Jerusalem. And Jesus says that the stars will fall from the sky, the sun will stop shining, the moon will stop reflecting the sun. Pretty weird. And then he says, the Son of Man will come on clouds in his glory. Now, what those have to do with the kingdom of God and the election, I'll explain in a moment. But let me pause for a moment to turn to the recent election of President Trump. He is, these days, appointing his cabinet. And for many people, there is hope that with the new administration, more and more people will have access to jobs and to health care. The border problems will be taken care of. People in the heartland, in the middle class and lower class will be taken care of. They have all kinds of hopes for what President Trump will do for the country. At the same time, as people are being selected for his cabinet, lots of people are afraid. They're worried about our military. They're worried about health and human services. They're worried about the intelligence community. There are all kinds of fears that people are having as the president-elect selects his cabinet. And so what does our faith and these images that Jesus uses have to do with this? Well, when Jesus talks about the sun not shining and stars falling, he's not making these meteorological predictions. He's not predicting what will happen to the sun or the stars. He's quoting a passage from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 10, if I remember. And in this passage, Isaiah has just witnessed the Babylonians surround the city of Jerusalem, destroy the city walls, destroy the capital, destroy the temple, and deport almost everybody. It's a devastating event. And Isaiah is using these images from nature of the sun no more shining, the stars falling, to capture what it feels like for the people of Israel. He's using these images of what looked like the end of the world, because for them, their world seems to have ended. Now, eventually, God brought Israel back from exile. So why is Jesus quoting this passage from Isaiah as he sits with his disciples on the Mount of Olives and looks at Jerusalem, looks at the Jerusalem temple? Because Jesus is predicting that soon Jerusalem will be surrounded by her enemies and destroyed. And sure enough, in 70 AD, about 40 years later, the Roman Empire came and did surround the city and did destroy the capital of Jerusalem. And Jesus has told his followers, flee before this happens. And it will seem like the world has come to an end for Israel. At the same time, though, Jesus refers to this other strange image of the Son of Man going on the clouds to God. And this is a passage from chapter 7 of the book of Daniel. And it is the climax of this scene where Daniel sees these monsters coming out of the ocean. And these monsters all represent the pagan nations of the Babylonians and the Assyrians and the Greeks and the Romans who have dominated Israel. And he sees all of these pagan nations coming out of the ocean like monsters and then collapsing. And this Son of Man coming on clouds to God, where he is given dominion over all of creation and over all the nations. This is kingdom of God language. This is a Jewish way of saying that one day these pagan nations will be destroyed and God's kingdom will reign. And so, my friends, even though we may go through difficult times in our nation, our hope is in the kingdom of God. Our hope is in God's kingdom coming on earth as it is in heaven. And we may go through terrible times in the next 4 years. We don't know. I pray we don't. But our faith is not in any political party. It's not even in our government. It is in God's kingdom. So, my friends, in the coming days, let's keep praying. Let's keep committed to God's kingdom. And remember, as people who are disciples of Jesus and committed to God's kingdom, that means we stand with the poor. We stand with the immigrant. We stand with the destitute, with the lonely. We don't say America first. We say God's kingdom first. We are called to love our enemy. We are called to love our neighbor. We are called to love God. And as Catholics who believe in Catholic social teaching, we stand with the most vulnerable. So, my friends, no matter what happens, our faith is in Jesus and in God's kingdom. Let's keep praying that it comes.